And then at that point, they have to continue to rise. The next level of training and teamwork and discipline, all to make it to one game, to be the best. What these two teams have accomplished is no small feat. They have gone beyond ordinary players. I was thinking of this call. You see it a lot in sports. You see it in acting when you see the award shows that come on. But this call to be exceptional. The call to be extraordinary. To rise above the average. To be more than just good. As Christians, we have a very similar call. Because here's the thing. Christians are not called to be nice people. We're not called to be polite and considerate. Christians aren't asked to be kind. To return wallets when we find them in the street. To hold the doors for others. To give up our seats to the elderly. To let someone with only 2 items go in front of us in the Stop and Shop line. Or even to be nice to children. So the requirement for being a Christian is not to refrain from making fun of the disabled. The requirement of a Christian is not to simply respect women or not lie. Being a follower of Christ is not asking us to simply avoid insulting people or to refrain from advocating violence or to not generalize all people of a certain skin color or language or country of origin as bad or violent. That's not what Christians are asked to do. See, that's what basic, run-of-the-mill, honorable people are asked to do. I mean, this is just part of what it is to be a fundamentally good person. All those things I just mentioned are the requirements for the membership card in the Decent Human Being Club. This is ordinary stuff. As Christians, we are called to that, but more than that. Our requirements for living are higher than that. We are called to move beyond just the decent human being status. We are called to be extraordinary in our lives. To do things that are more than just nice. Listen to this gospel. This gospel is a wake-up call for the people in Jesus' time and for us. You see, in the time of Jesus, if you were poor, or if you had a disease, or if you were living on the outskirts of society, there was a reason for that. And the reason was you, or your parents, or your grandparents. Someone had done something wrong, messed up so badly that you were paying the price. That's why you're poor. That's why you're sick. That's why you have a disease. That's why your child is sick. Because you did something wrong. That was what the belief was. But Jesus is saying, absolutely not. Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, those people that you say are marginalized, that you say are diseased and sick and need to stay away, those are the ones God is closest to. It flipped everything upside down. The people who they said were not chosen, were not blessed, were not one of our own. Those are the ones God moves closest to. Jesus' message is God does favor them. God has a special place for them, even if we don't. Some may see other people as rejected and rejectable. God sees them as closer to Him than maybe me or you. Some may see other people as lazy. God sees them as trapped and broken. Some see others as different and deviant and not living the right way. God sees them as beautiful and loving and favored. So why this mission? Why this mission of Jesus Christ to the rejected, to the suffering and those who seek justice? Because then, like now, there were a lot of people who suffered, a lot of people who needed justice. See, when people suffer, they need to hear a message. They need to hear that someone cares. That there is someone out there who is loving them and watching them and favoring them. They need to have hope. But hope is a tough resource for many to come by. Fear is much easier. See, this past week, for some inexplicable reason, I have seen fear more often than I typically do. I have encountered it this week. And usually when I encounter things like that, it's kind of like a knock that God is giving me to think about this. Think about fear. Fear is everywhere. I'm telling you, as a pastor, I see it. Fear is everywhere. I found fear in a community that I visited upstate this week. I saw fear in a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in many, many years. I saw fear in a marriage. Fear on the news. Now, I'm not talking, when I say fear, I'm not talking about the fear that keeps you from walking in the middle of the street, or fear that keeps you from driving 50 miles an hour in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. I'm talking about the fear that keeps you still, that freezes you, that keeps your mouth shut, keeps you from speaking up. The fear that makes you think, what is the next terrible thing that's going to happen in my life or in this world? Fear that stops you. Fear that makes people push others away because of what might happen. Fear is everywhere. The thing about fear is that fear doesn't make us do things. When you really look at it, fear makes us not do things. Fear of rejection. Fear of change. Fear of sickness. The fear of those we don't know. It stops us. It deadens us. So fear is like a cancer. A cancer cell, and it spreads to other parts of the body, and that cancer grows. That's what fear is. The only way to move out of fear is to be guided by hope. It's the only way. To know that there is someone bigger than us who will make things okay. To know that we're protected. In our longing for healing, in our sadness, in our pain, in our humility, and in our poverty, in our rejection, that we are protected. That we're held. That hope is real. That's what the Beatitudes are about. The Beatitudes remind us that hope really does have weight. We're reminded that hope is ours if we look up and see what's really going on. I was listening to a news report on NPR this week. They were talking about two refugee families from Syria who had resettled in a tiny little town called Rutland, Vermont. One family was settling in, and it was what this story was focusing on. The mom was a French literature professor. The dad was an engineer. They had two children. One was 11 and one was 8. Well, the family was fleeing the government-backed violence in Damascus. They were approved by the Department of Homeland Security to come originally to Los Angeles, but they were rerouted to Rutland. Because as the dad described, it simply became too dangerous to stay in Damascus. All they knew each and every day was fear. Fear that one day one of them wouldn't come back from work. Fear that one of their children wouldn't make it back from school. And in that fear that was part of their everyday existence, hope was handed to them. That there was someone who was looking out for them. And because of Rutland, Vermont, and actually many other cities in our country, They didn't allow fear to win out. Because of that ability of these people who host them, this family now has hope. Hope to live the life that God intends for them. Hope for their children to make it to adulthood. All because hope became real in people. They put flesh and blood on hope. You see, fear in the end will at best, lead us to an ordinary, nice, polite life. At worst, it will twist us into hatred and suspicion. Why does ISIS even exist? Why does Al-Qaeda even exist? If you think about it, what it comes down to is fear. This irrational fear that their religion is being threatened and their people persecuted. That's what it is about, fear. Only when we are led by hope can we be followers of Christ. The Beatitudes are Jesus' message that whatever you are suffering, whatever you are afraid of, whatever torments you, whatever is stopping you from moving, stopping you from being alive and being free, move through it. Let go of that death grip, that white-knuckle grip you have. Fearing that if you let go, you're going to crash to the ground, because you won't. That's what the Beatitudes are saying. You won't. There is a net underneath you that will catch you that you don't see yet. There is someone much bigger than you who is watching out for you. Someone who promises it will be okay. We're called to live, not to be frozen. We're called to live a life and making decisions that makes others stop in their tracks and take a step back and think of them. As Christians, we are called to live lives of unreasonable love and unreasonable hope. Because our hope is real. Because our hope has weight. Amen.